Hello, this is Kirill, and today we're talking about types of variables. So, variables, they can be of two distinct types. Number one is categorical. And categorical variables, as the name suggests, they describe quality or a characteristic of a data unit. So basically they're answering the question, to what category does this record belong, and what are its properties? So there are two subtypes of categorical variables. Number one is nominal. And nominal variables are observations that cannot be organized into a logical sequence. So basically things like gender, male or female. Let's have a look at a few examples actually. So male or female, you can't order them. You can't say one is greater than the other, or the other one is comes first, the other one comes second. You can't put them in order. Same thing with red, green, black. With colors, you can't order them. So they do categorize your data, but you cannot do anything about it. You can't put them into a chronological or any kind of order, and that's why they're called nominal. So basically a good way to remember this is like names. So nominal and the word names, they sound similar, and therefore, as with names, you can't order them. Nominal variables, you can't order them either. The other subtype of categorical variables are ordinal variables. So these are variables which are categorical, but you can order them. Let's have a look at a few examples. So, for instance, small, medium, large. These categories, say in terms of clothes in a store, you can break down your clothes into groups based on what size the label states, small, medium, or large. And moreover, you can order them. So you can put these groups of clothes in a logical order, meaning that clothes in this batch are bigger than clothes in this batch, and then they're bigger than the clothes in the smallest batch. And similar thing with grades, A, B, C. So, A is the highest grade, B is the next grade, C is the lower grade, and so on. So even though they're ordered, even though they don't have numbers here, they have a logical inherent order within them. And so those are the two different types of categorical variables. Now, if we move on to the other type of variables, we will go to numeric. So numeric variables are basically numbers, and there are two types of numeric variables. And these variables actually, overall, numeric variables, they answer the question how much or how many. So for instance, there are discrete numeric variables. And discrete numeric variables, they are basically whole numbers. So how many units of something or how much of something occurred, but it can't be a fraction of a number. Let's have a look at a few examples here as well. So for instance, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 100 businesses. You can't have 1.5 businesses, right? You can't have 2.25 businesses. So basically there can be an infinite number of observations. That doesn't matter, but as long as there's nothing in between. So there's two businesses, there's three businesses, but there's nothing in between. You can't have a value in between. Same with people. You can have 568 people, you can have 567 people, but there's nothing in between. So you can't find another variable between two set discrete variables that come in sequence. And finally, the last type of numeric variables or overall variables that we're going to look at is continuous variables. So continuous variables are a subtype of numeric variables. They also answer the question how many or how much, but unlike discrete variables, they can be a fraction. For instance, age or height. So you can be 173 meters tall, you can be 173.5 meters tall. So basically any two continuous variables that you take, or continuous values that you take on your scale, say 173 and 173.5, there will always be another continuous variable between them, so 173.25. And even if you take 173.25 and 173.5, there'll still be another one in between them, 173.257, and so on. So there's always another variable between any two, or there's always another value between any two continuous values. So they can be, of course, restricted at the minimum and maximum, so you can't be lower, or for instance with age, you can't be younger than 0 years old and you can't be older than 150. unless medicine goes through the roof in the next couple of years. So there can be restrictions, but within those boundaries, there's an unlimited number of values that the variable can take. So those are 4 types of variables: nominal, ordinal, discrete, continuous. Have a look around you. Try to think of other examples. It's a very good exercise to remember these 4 different types.